who is a delegate from Texas. Mr. Fulton, tell us where you're from and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am from Houston, Texas. Is a former veteran, Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm. So once I've gotten out of the military, I've tried to stay very active in what's going on in the country and stay involved as much as possible.
So what are you doing? Are you retired? You're retired from the military, or you have any other line of work at this point?
I am currently a lawyer in Houston.
Okay. And is this your first convention, national convention?
Yes, it is. It is my first one.
And what do you think so far?
So far it's been kind of a hurry up and wait because of the weather and the changing of the convention schedules. But it is exciting to be able to see some of the people in the party, especially some of the leaders that you normally only see on the news. But you get an opportunity to actually shake hands and talk to about any concerns that you may have. So that's pretty exciting.
What was the process like for you to become a delegate?
Well, I was voted as a congressional delegate. So at the state conventions, they put people up on the floor for nomination, and I was nominated by a couple of groups, and ultimately it came down to me having the majority of the votes for the delegates for that congressional district, and so I was honored to be allowed to attend and represent them.
Why are you a Republican?
Well, I can tell you, I started out probably not unlike a lot of, especially blacks in this country, as a Democrat. It seems like it's something that you're kind of born to think that that's what you're supposed to be. So that's where I started. Eventually, though, being raised in the inner city, I got an opportunity to see some of the social programs and things that the Democratic Party was pushing. And I thought it was actually helping the minorities in the area instead of, it was actually hurting more than it was helping. And so I went in search of something different, and I spoke to a lot of Republicans and listened to the platform. And for the first time, I felt like I wasn't being treated like a victim, that I actually, could do, good things by, working hard and prayer and things like that to rise above my situation. And that made me feel a lot better than the platform that was being pushed when I was a Democrat.
Well, as you know, Kevin Fulton, one of the criticisms of the Republican Party is that it's essentially pretty lily-white. It's kind of the white party. What do you think there could be better or different outreach to minorities?
Yes, I think the big dilemma for Republican outreach is, most of the programs, one of the big things about the Republican Party is not looking at people's race and to try to treat people, just based on their position as an American. But really what they need to do is probably create a little bit better programs that are geared specifically towards minorities and being able to communicate to minorities in a way that they would understand where the Republican Party is trying to go. The Democrats do a good job of going into the minority communities and speaking with them and trying to show them, at least make an attempt to make it look like they're concerned with what's going on in the community. I think Republicans just have to do a better job of communicating their message, because most beliefs that the Republican Party hold are more in line with minority groups than the Democratic Party. Pro-church, school vouchers, being able to move their kids out of the communities in low-performing schools. Those types of things are really a belief that's held strongly in minority communities. We just have to make sure that we get out there and let them know that's what the Republican Party is about.
So were you pleased that Mitt Romney earlier this year went to the NAACP meeting, and I believe it was in Houston, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and I was pleased. And notably, you look at what was being taunted as the first black president, and President Obama, and he didn't show up, and it wasn't a scheduling conflict. It was simply the Democratic Party taking the minority vote as a given, that they no longer have to even show up at the convention in order to get the vote. But it'll continue to be that way as long as you have, over 90% of the black vote going towards one party. As long as you do that, they'll continue to take that vote for granted. But I think it's an insult to blacks that he couldn't even show up for the NAACP convention, which was, by the way, started by Republicans.
Kevin Fulton, will you have a chance to meet Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, or some of the other leaders in the Republican Party while you're down here in Houston?
I'm really going to try my best. It's hard with so many people clamoring for their attention. I have had the opportunity to meet Governor Perry, which was a thrill. I've met Ted Cruz, the new senatorial candidate from Texas. So meeting a lot of the Texas leadership has been fairly easy, and I've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of them. Now it's about trying to get close to some of the national leaders. So hopefully there'll be some Romney people that'll be listening and can give me a quick handshake at least.
But he doesn't necessarily visit all the delegations, correct?
No, he doesn't. And the bad thing about Texas is it's such a red state that the National Party a lot of times may not come around as much. They'll come around for fundraising, sort of like probably Republican Party does for California, which is the blue state. But outside of that, a lot of time and money and effort is not spent in Texas because it's such a red state by the National Party.
Well, Kevin Fulton, I hope we'll be able to check in with you throughout these 4 days of the convention here in Tampa. But a final question before we sign off here in our internet chat. You're from Houston. You're used to this humidity and hurricanes. What do you think about this weather and the fact that the convention is being delayed and this hurricane may be hitting while the Republicans are having their big convention?
I'm actually still getting used to it, actually. I've been in Houston now about 8 years, originally coming out of Southern California. So I'm still adjusting, even after 8 years, to not being able to enjoy mid-70s temperatures throughout the year. So it does take some getting used to, especially as a lawyer. I wear suits every day, so pretty much. So it's pretty hot. And I'm getting used to hurricanes. I'm used to earthquakes. Still adjusting to hurricanes and how to deal with those. But so far, it hasn't been as bad out here as I thought it would be. So,
well, Kevin Fulton is a first-time delegate from the state of Texas, and we will look forward to checking in with you throughout the 4 days of the convention. Thanks for joining us on our internet chat.
Dave, good talk to you. Bye.